Hi dear fans, friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to the first day's play report on the first test match between Australia and Pakistan, which was played today at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Well, just talking about this match, it was Pakistan who batted. Just giving you a summary, Australians bowled very well. They had the Pakistani batting on a real tight leash as Pakistan at stumps finished at 219 for 4. But the feature today was an innings from Younis Khan, who was dropped from the ODIs, and he bluntly made a statement, as you would remember, Younis Khan, that he didn't like the prospect. I mean, he said that he won't. This is not something that he liked. He came heavily on the Pakistani cricket board, well, today definitely I think whatever he spoke was really proved, in the sense he really what he did is he actually made his bat do the talking, and what a wonderful way he did. I mean, very rarely do you find Younis Khan who scored so quickly, because in a score of 219 for 4, the lion's share was Younis Khan of 106 runs in a single day. In fact, I think he was there when the score was 198. His wicket went away. So 198 for 4 was the score when Younis departed. But I thought this was a very different innings from Younis Khan, because even though he showed a lot of application and determination, but I thought still there was something different about this innings, because the way he actually, normally Younis Khan is not such an aggressive player, but well, even though he did all the basics right, we saw that he was not afraid. When he was batting on 99, he had the guts to come down the wicket and loft Nathan Lyon into the stands for a six to bring up his 25th test century. Now the 25th test century that he brought also equaled the record as far as Pakistan are concerned, because the record is being held by Inzamamul Haq, who has scored 25 centuries. And while doing so, not only did Younis Khan equal the record number of centuries, which is the record which is held by Inzamamul Haq, but by doing that, he also did one more thing. What he did is he got his first century against Australia. He's never scored a century against Australia. Today, by getting a century against Australia, what Younis Khan did for himself is he became the only player from Pakistan to have centuries against all test playing countries. Take a bow, Younis Khan. And Younis Khan really played superbly, and he was absolutely untroubled when the Australian bowlers were really breathing fire. They were really bowling in the right areas, keeping this Pakistani innings on a very tight leash. And well, the score itself will reflect everything for you. 219 for 4 was what Pakistan ended up at stumps on day 1 of this first test match at the Dubai International Cricket Ground. Well, just now talking about this match, Pakistan were the ones who actually won the toss, and they chose to bat. Both the teams decided to give debuts for 2 players. Australia had a debut for Mitchell Marsh. Now Mitchell Marsh, the cap was the baggy green cap was handed over by his father, Jeff Marsh. So Mitchell Marsh and Steve O'Keefe, the left-arm spinner, also making his debut. And for Pakistan, they decided to blood young Imran Khan, the right-arm pace bowler, and also the right-arm leg spinner Yasir Shah into the mix. And so both the teams having 2 test debutants today. So, well, play started with the openers Ahmed Shahzad and Mohammad Hafiz walking in, and Mitchell Johnson with the new ball, in fact struck with the 5th ball of the first over of the match, when he had Mohammad Hafiz getting a spearing Yorker onto his pads, and it went and hit the pad of Mohammad Hafiz, and Mohammad Hafiz strangely decided to appeal against it. Well, definitely the review went in favor of Australia, and Mitchell Johnson had drawn first blood for Australia by wrapping Mohammad Hafiz on the pads and having him LBW for a block. What a start for Australia there. And after that, there was one more wicket to come, and this time it was Peter Siddle, who was also bowling with lots of pace. He was really hitting the 140 kph mark very consistently, and then the reward came as he went on to knock the leg stump of Ahmed Shahzad for 3, and suddenly the Pakistani openers were sent to the pavilion with the score reading 7 for 2. So it was a real alarm bell situation for Pakistan there, and in the middle they had 2 batsmen. One was the tutor, I would say, Younis Khan, with all his experience, and Azhar Ali was the student. And we all know that Younis Khan and Azhar Ali have some very good techniques. In fact, Azhar Ali, as an youngster, I have always said that he is one of the most technically perfect players in this Pakistan cricket team. And well, he proved that. And after that, it was Mitchell Johnson and Peter Siddle were bowling well. And it was also very hot and humid over there. And Michael Clarke, the Australian captain, handled his bowlers pretty well. He decided to use his pace bowlers in short bursts. So he actually probably will bowl 4 overs of Johnson, and he used to give him rest to him. And then the debutant Steve O'Keefe bowled, Mitchell Marsh, the debutant, bowled, Nathan Lyon bowled, Stephen Smith bowled. In fact, once the pace bowlers were off the attack, we saw that Younis Khan and Azhar Ali, in fact Younis Khan took 34 balls to get off the mark, and Azhar Ali, and both of them slowly but steadily started, I would say, steering the ship from the troubled waters. Well, they did it pretty well by adding 108 runs for the 3rd wicket. As I said, Younis Khan played his trademark strokes, his beautiful drives that he executes through the cover region. He was also using his wrist very well to maneuver the ball and put it into the gaps and get some runs. Azhar Ali, as I said, he is absolutely a technically proficient batsman. He showed that he was absolutely equal to the task. He decided to play in the way only he does, by really giving good respect to the bowlers, but by the same token, getting the scoreboard moving. And both of them chiseled together a partnership of 108 runs for the 3rd wicket. And when things were going on and the score has reached 115, that was the time. It was the time for Mitchell Johnson. Azhar Ali, let me tell you, Pakistan would have been in a much worse position, and they would have probably, after Ahmed Shahzad left, they would have probably been 3 wickets down for double-digit runs. But fortunately for Pakistan, what happened was Mitchell Johnson, who bowled the delivery, and Younis Khan, Azhar Ali tried to carve the ball through point, and the catch was unfortunately dropped by Chris Rogers, and that is what really Pakistan benefited from. And then the 108-run partnership really, I would say, at least adding a semblance of respectability to the Pakistan innings. And then finally Johnson induced Azhar Ali to go for a drive, and as he drove, there was a man who was positioned especially for that, and he was Alex Doolan in the short covers, who took the catch of the bowling of Johnson. And Azhar Ali, after making 53 with 6 fours, was walking back to the pavilion, and Pakistan were 115 for 3. After that, Misbah-ul Haq, the Pakistan captain, strode on to the middle to join Younis Khan. Younis Khan continued in the same vein, in the sense then there was another partnership which started, that was between Misbah-ul Haq and Younis Khan, which added 73 very good runs. In fact, Misbah-ul Haq was absolutely playing at snail's pace, and what was more important was that they had to, Mitchell Johnson was absolutely on the money. He was giving nothing away, keeping the ball well up to the batsman, allowing the ball to swing. There was some skiddiness on the pitch too, and the batsman had to be watchful, and the watchfulness, I thought, was probably the Pakistan batting order was too watchful, but well, they had to do that. But as I said, Younis Khan, one really has to commend. I mean, one can probably think of batsmen like Virendra Sehwag or Shahid Afridi coming on 99 and smacking a 6, even though a spinner was bowling. In fact, Michael Clarke probably gave a bait to Younis Khan, and probably thought that Younis Khan is a person who normally does not like to attack the ball, and especially at 99, he would probably nurdle the runs and try to take a single. So he brought the team, the full, the fielders in, and Younis Khan very readily, in fact very surprisingly I would say, accepted the challenge by launching Nathan Lyon down the ground for a six. What a shot! And that was the way Younis Khan actually brought up his record 25th Test century. And as I said, he equaled Inzamam's record. Not only that, by doing so, he has become the first Pakistani cricket player to have scored centuries against all Test playing nations. And Younis Khan would be so pleased with his innings because this was his first century against Australia. He has made some 90s against Australia, I reckon, but this was his first Test century against Australia. And Younis Khan finally did it by making 106. And when the score reached 198, this 73-run stand was broken by Mitchell Johnson, who was the best bowler of the day today, when he went on to wrap Younis Khan on the pads, and up went the umpire's finger. And Younis Khan, after playing a very, very good innings, a very big knock of 106 runs in a Pakistan score, 106 runs, he occupied 223 balls, and he scored 10 fours and that 1/6 that brought up his century. And the score read 198 for 4. After that, Misbah, like as I said, was playing at absolute snail's pace. And you would know why I'm telling that, because he was not out on 34 at stumps of 103 balls with just one boundary. Asad Shafiq had come to the crease. Asad Shafiq was not out on 9 with 1/4. Now, throughout the day, we saw that the pace bowlers were really, really dominating. And Mitchell Johnson in particular. Mitchell Johnson bowled 20 overs, 13 maidens, 22 runs and 3 wickets. Peter Siddle, 17 overs, 8 maidens, 1 for 27, also bowled superbly. And look at Mitchell Johnson, he gave away just 3 boundaries in his 20 overs. So that really, really tells you, first one has to credit Michael Clarke for using his pace bowlers in absolute short spells. And not only that, and the bowlers also responding to that in a very good way. And especially considering the heat and humidity factor in Dubai, where it was pretty hot, I thought Michael Clarke was showing his excellent captaincy skills there, and that's what enabled them to really put this Pakistani innings on a real hold by holding them to just 219 for 4 on the first day. Now, as I said, the pace bowlers were really dominating, but towards just over 15 minutes before the close of play, what one saw was something that would have really got Pakistan worried. Not only Pakistan, but probably Australia too, because the ball suddenly started turning and spinning, and Nathan Lyon was really making the ball talk. In fact, he had some 2 close LBW appeals turned down, and the reason was that the ball was turning. And suddenly towards the close of play, we definitely saw some very good turn in the pitch. And well, looking at that, the Pakistan score at 219 for 4, and the new ball is due. I wouldn't be surprised if one probably sees a bit of probably more of Nathan Lyon and Steve O'Keefe tomorrow in the morning, and probably or probably one does not know. Probably the dew in the pitch might probably prompt Michael Clarke to actually take the new ball and hurl it down to Misbah and Asad Shafiq to probably get a quick breakthrough early on the morrow in Dubai. Steve O'Keefe, 15 overs, 2 maidens, none for 49 on his debut, bowled well. Mitchell Marsh also on his debut, really, I thought he really stretched himself. 11 overs, 4 maidens, none for 18. Nathan Lyon, 24 overs, 3 maidens, none for 78, of whom lots of runs were scored by Younis Khan and Azhar Ali. And Steven Smith, 3 overs, no maiden, none for 11. But one thing I can tell you, 219 for 4 is it is where the Pakistan innings stand right now. There's still a long way to go. Misbah himself can be a very tough customer. He can really wear down the Australian bowlers. Asad Shafiq is coming back on heels of a very good century that he made when he was playing for Australia, and also captained the team well. So things looking good. And then they have Sarfraz Ahmed slated to come in as the number 7 batsman. And you know, Sarfraz Ahmed, he's already showed that he opened the innings in the one-day internationals, and he showed everybody that he's not a batsman to be trifled with. And Sarfraz Ahmed definitely is test match material, there's no doubt about it. In fact, through his performances in the test matches only, he actually won an opportunity in the one-day international squad. So Sarfraz Ahmed has already proved himself in test matches, and I'm sure he's looking forward to that. And then they have I would say they have a long tail consisting of Zulfikar Babar, who can probably bat a bit, and then they have the debutants Yasir Shah, Rahat Ali, and another debutant, the pacer Imran Khan. So 219 for 4, and I think and also after seeing the ball turn towards the end of the first day, I'm sure the Pakistan batsman would be pretty wary about it, and it would be interesting to see what Michael Clarke does tomorrow, whether he wants to probably see whether there is still some turn available by probably giving 2 or 3 overs to the spinners and seeing if at all there is some turn, and if Nathan Lyon and Steve O'Keefe can do something, or whether Michael Clarke would probably opt for the new ball with the dew factor coming into question early in the morning, which could assist the pacers for sure. And I have a feeling that it would be the new ball, and probably one has to wait for the Nathan Lyon and Steve O'Keefe to come and to see whether the turn that was available towards the close of play on the first day still is there on the second day. It will be very interesting to see. But well, dear fan subscribers, as I said, Younis Khan, it was Younis Khan's day, no doubt about it. 25th Test century, the first Pakistani cricket player to have scored Test centuries against all Test playing nations. And not only that, while doing so, he got his first Test century against Australia. And anyone who scores a Test century against Australia, you know what the feeling is, because they all know that Australia is a very strong team, and I'm sure Younis Khan would have been pretty happy with that effort. And not only that, probably this is the first time in his entire career that we have seen Younis Khan come down batting on 99, which is absolutely contrary to his nature, coming down the wicket and lofting Nathan Lyon for a 6 down the ground to bring up his century, which probably I think Shahid Afridi or Virender Sehwag would have done. But Misbah ul Haq has definitely played a wonderful innings, no doubt, but probably, according to me, played an innings which was unlike Younis Khan innings, I would say, after seeing that 6 that he hit. Well, dear fan subscribers, I don't have anything else to talk about. I hope you all liked the first day's play report on this first Test match between Australia and Pakistan, which was played in Dubai. Thanks for your company as always, and thanks for your continued cooperation to this cricket show, Cricket Happenings. Your host Ram will be seeing you tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye from host Ram Studios. Thank you.